Hi everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today. Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot, and it's my weekly look into our shadow lives, especially for the Goth kind of minded community, but it also applies to anybody who is in tune with their own inner darkness, so to speak. So we're here to sort of help you sort some things out, or maybe prepare you for the kind of trends or issues that could be appearing in your life. So to speak, recently I've pondered the significance, as we are now in, at least on the day this filming, the super full moon in the sign of Leo with Mercury retrograde. And I feel a lot of energies going on at this time. And so I feel like this is a portal or a passport into our reading and possibly into the energies that are brewing out there. So I'd like to give you your passport, your ticket to Mother Mort's Carnival of Souls, which will be my opening reading here. It's a recent deck that I believe Banshee acquired for me, or I just told her, order it. Mother Mort's Carnival of Souls. So it's a odd, quirky, dark, kind of minded oracle. I've only used it a couple times for the show, but we're going to do it now. A little clumsy there. All right. And so this reading is for today and the week going forward from Wednesday, August 21st. We want you to remember that readings are for entertainment purposes only. But if we give you an insight or clarify any of your own thoughts, you know, that's half the battle as far as we can tell. All right. There we go. Nice. Mort. What is the Mort? Well, basically, there is a backstory to all of the characters or events in Mother Moon's Carnival of Souls. It's kind of like its own quirky, steampunk-ish dark world. So she's an elderly woman who hobbles around through the carnival goers. That's the sort of platform for the reading as you're attending this Carnival of Souls. And she's one of, obviously, the three forms of the triple goddess, which, depending on your view, is really, you know, a big central part of some forms of Wicca or witchcraft, or maybe it's just another transition phase of some sort. But here's the interpretation. This card represents independence, strength, and individualism. Be unafraid to walk your path alone. You have more than enough strength and courage to do so. Walk towards your destiny with conviction and live your life by your design. This card is also a reminder to treat others as you expect to be treated and to show respect when respect is earned. Sometimes a direct approach is required, but do so with respect and hold your head high, knowing you have faced any difficulties or issues with stoicism and grace. The Mort. And of course, as somebody who feels like I've been a crone for a while now, over 10 years, you know, I sort of take the idea that your second Saturn return around the age of 56 to 58 is the second time Saturn comes back in your chart. It does this about every 28 years or so. But when it does that, it sort of indicates a lesson of time, a lesson of growth, a lesson of understanding what your responsibilities are. So I like this because although you have those responsibilities, you have that independence. And so the responsibility is an obligation to treat others as you would treat yourself, and to understand respect is a two-way street. Honor your teachers, and your teachers will honor you. And we're all students and teachers at some point. So that was our opening salvo here at Goth Tarot. And I have decided to use the Goth Tarot cards and throw 6 cards. I've done this before, but I'm sort of fashioning the reading differently. So of course we do have a dark design. The dark design is basically what is around us, the environment around us. But today I'm going to sort of specify that it's going to be, as I've done in the past, a triangle, and then I'll have another triangle. This one's the ascending one. And the idea is what we're looking at from that dark design is body, mind, and spirit. We're checking in. We're checking in with the concept of how are we doing? What is the energies telling us at this time about our body, mind, and spirit? What do we possibly need to understand if we don't already? Or what may be actionable, as they say. So I'm using the Murder of Crows for this triangle. And so the reading sort of resembles, as I've adapted before, the Mystic or Magic 7. But I'm only going to do 6 cards. I'm not going to do the 7th card in the center, because I will be doing a closing meditation from the Dark Light Oracle at the end after the reading. So stay tuned, please. But okay, so here we go with our Mystic Triangle version of Goth Tarot. And the first card, as I said, was body. We're doing body, mind, and spirit. And it's the 9 of Wands, and it's upright. And so body, mind, and spirit, the 9 of Wands says you have to fight for your right to party or whatever it is. And so from that body point of view, they're saying this could be a time where the sense of physical danger or physical caution needs to be a part of your mind here, thinking about that there may be challenges to you. There's challenges to us all the time, but maybe these are serious ones in terms of what I'm feeling with the planetary energies, the shift going on. Things are happening in the zeitgeist. People are being charged towards their polarities. And of course, we all favor a polarity that we feel in our hearts is good and righteous, but that means that if we believe in this idea of binary polarities, then we feel that that opposite side is wrong and evil. And of course, that can't be really true. You know, no matter what we think of our neighbors who think, vote, love, etc. differently, they are still our neighbors, and we have to reconcile some of that in some way. So the dark design's body component is more or less telling you to be prepared. Be prepared, the 9 of Wands. Realize that you may be called upon to defend something or to be protective in certain ways or to help safeguard something. And we know what that could be. So now we're going to move on to the mind component. That's right here. We're going to put that. And the mind component, it's the 10 of Pentacles upright. And I'm going to lay you right there, my little beauty. And so the 10 of Pentacles upright says that in our mind, we feel connected and we feel like we are part of a unity. And you know, that's true in that previous allegory I mentioned, you know, that if we're talking about the way our culture is binary and certain people feel the other side is evil and vice versa, we see this very much, is that we are all relying on that sense of our community, of our unity with our beliefs or our family, you know, we might term it that way. And so from that point of view, and you know, you look at the picture, of course, and the crows are picking over the shiny objects that are left there. And it looks a little bit like a trail of ruin in a way if you look at the card. I should try to focus that, but I'm not going to take a break to get that camera focused. I should have done that earlier. So I'm sorry about that. But I think the Dark Design's message for the mind is to remember that even if we can't be together as family, as community, as a force of unity, we are there in our mind. And we need to remember that, because we can find strength there, and we can find purpose, and we can find help if we need it. Sure hope so. So now finally, to complete this triangle, finally, to complete this triangle, we go to the spirit portion, mind, body, and spirit, and it is the Knight of Cups upright. So I'm glad about that. I'm glad that we got a good card there. And I think from a spiritual point of view, Knights do speak about comings and goings of matter. They are movement. And I think this is saying we are moving spiritually towards a more loving kind of situation. Excuse me. But that idea that moving forward in love is the only way to express and be a part of a unified spirit, if we want to put it into the context of the body, mind, spirit. So that's our Dark Design in 3 cards. And so now I'm going to move to the next portion, and I want to look at maybe 3 other effects that are not internal but are external, that are coming to us from other sources. And the first one I wanted to look at, and I felt it strongly in a way, was I wanted to look at what was truly the otherworldly effects, i.e. spiritual, planetary, otherworldly effects that maybe we have totally no control over, other than understanding astrology and how astrology might help us avoid some things. But maybe there are some things even beyond that that I'm thinking about, you know, whether it's truly from the beyond, powers that we don't understand, but maybe, and I know some of my friendly philosophers are talking about an other world where maybe spiritual beings are fighting to have some sort of impact and role to play on our own world. And of course, in a Christian context, that would be the forces of evil fighting the forces of good. But it could be other things as well. I'm not as much into that theory that I understand it, but I have decided to use the Cthulhu, the Cthulhu Tarot for the otherworldly connection. I'm never sure how to pronounce it. I used to pronounce it Cthulhu, but who knows, right? Excuse me. So I pull this card, and they're large cards and hard to shuffle, but the idea will be it's going to go to begin the descending triangle. I guess I should just show those again since it's visually better. And voila! it's the Wheel of Fortune, and that's so appropriate for it to be, and that's so appropriate for it to be, the otherworldly connection, because what is more otherworldly than total fate and chance? And the wheel represents that maybe somehow fate is moving in a strange and unusual way, but towards something that's also beneficial. I really want to believe that the Wheel of Fortune from the Cthulhu Tarot, as the position of otherworldly forces that may be interacting at this time, suggests that there is, maybe it's a higher power, but maybe it's higher powers. Maybe it's otherworldly powers or things that are deciding they need to be proactive, whereas they may not have been. And all kinds of people are doing all kinds of magical and ritual and prayerful work, possibly to bring some of these energies into the real world, quote unquote. I like saying that. So you never know, really. So that was the otherworldly possibilities or energies that could interplay. But now I want to also look, as another part of this new triangle, what is draining us? What is sucking the life from us? What external forces that may be just psychic vampirism, or situations that have such a vortex around them that they are pulling in our hope or destiny and making us not necessarily feel like the wheel is going to roll in our favor. So for that, I'm going to use the Vampire Tarot, and it's basically the dark shadows. What sucks? What is draining us? Can we overcome it somehow? I want to give one good riffle here. And I want to thank everybody for joining me. So what sucks? What's draining us? It's justice. It's justice. But it's a dark justice. I could take this two ways. This could be obviously that it's really the lack of feeling justice that maybe is draining us. The idea that certain things need to happen in order for people to feel really like something has changed, like hope has returned. And of course, this could be about, the usual, the political or cultural divide in America. But there's another way of looking at that too, and that could be saying that we fear true justice in some way, not because it needed to happen for something else, but maybe it could happen to us, and that maybe there's a rule of law that would change for us too. I mean, this could be talking about something really dark in a way too. I imagine there's even other ways of looking at it, and I had one, but it kind of fled off, so I hope that wasn't dangerous, that I can't remember that at the moment. I'm stalling here, hoping I might remember it. But I think it may suck, it may drain us to wonder how the legal system is really working and who it's really working for. So this could be a real general question of trying to understand how balance is restored in the world. Despite changes that happen, the resulting karmic or justice impact of it may not happen exactly the way we feel it should or when it should. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll move on to the final card. I'm just going to do 6 to complete pyramids. And I'm going to say once again, what is the dark gift? Using the Crow's Magic Tarot, what is the skills, intuitions, mystical powers, or access other kinds of resources that we may have that could really help us in the situation, or maybe provide a clue of some sort, a way of dealing with things. And of course, mostly the outlook is pretty good here. But you know what? You always take help wherever you can get it. So even if things look like they're on a good trajectory, it's good to also consider that these forces or energies are allies that can help you if you need them. Or at least I'm hoping that. But we have the Six of Coins, and it's upright. And I like the fact that we got so many upright cards. Now, how unusual is that? Just gonna have to say that. But the Six of Coins is completing our triangle. So the Six of Pentacles upright is telling us that we need to restore a balance of people being generous with each other and people giving to each other, despite possibly big differences. And even if it's, thinking about where the past might have played into that, I might have been thinking about the Six of Cups a little bit. I think it's still valid to indicate that from other perspectives, we understand that the world hasn't always been so fixated on profit and I, me, mine, like the Beatles once said in a song a long time ago. Everybody worried about themselves. And why is that? Because society maybe is driving us to be that way, because it doesn't want us to embrace each other in the spirit of friendliness and mutual cooperation for mutual ends. I mean, how did we build that city besides rock and roll? We had to have a lot of other kinds of cooperation happen between people. And some of that was at governmental, logical levels that worked that way, but some of it was also the people too. And somebody had to represent and advocate and understand what the people needed too for this. And so we need to get back to that. We need to remember that there is a contract between us and everybody else, whether it's a layer of the government or whether it's, your school, your church, your neighbor down the street, your old aunt who you have to check up on now and then, all of that. And do check up on our elders, of course, do check up on them. So I think it's time now to start the closing affirmation, and that's going to come from the Dark Light Oracle. So I'm just going to throw that right here. And I want to thank everybody again. Don't forget to watch our other programs. We'll be live tomorrow from 7 to 9. But before that, in the afternoon, we're going to have a monthly modality message for the sun has moved into Virgo. And so, Virgo, right. And so we want to give you the skinny on what that means for each of the modality signs of the zodiac. On Friday is my other show, The Emotional Exchanges. Find out about what's going on in your love or relationship or romantic life. And that's starting at 7 a.m. Friday morning. Saturday brings us to another happy hour at 10 a.m. Get a positive, uplifting message. No questions, just that. And then, of course, we're live again Sunday afternoon following Banshee's Material Matters at 10 a.m., which is also a pre-recorded show. All right, so let's do our affirmation so we can get out of here. And it's spring. Everything that blossoms. And I'm just going to sink that right there. Number 11. Spring, everything that blossoms. I am the spring fairy. I slept all winter, but now I am wide awake and eager to have everything blossoming around me. I want green leaves and strong trees and colorful flowers. I want sparkling juice to nourish my projects. What about you? What is your new project? What are you about to start? Gather your will and enthusiasm and begin the adventure. I want you to be dynamic, active, young at heart, confident. I want spring to flower in your mind. Help your ideas to grow by putting all your energy into the service of your dream. Spread your wings and fly high in the blue spring sky. I will watch over you and make sure that your project develops like a powerful tree. Affirmation. I am starting something new with enthusiasm and confidence. I believe in my project and I will do whatever it takes to make it blossom. So that's it, everybody. I think everything really connected very well there. And it probably had been a couple of weeks since I felt all the connection between the affirmations and the card readings themselves, but everything kind of clicked well. You can always leave me a comment if you like, saying you did feel that way or you didn't. But I think it's pretty clear that for the most part, the energy is moving in a really wonderful way. Maybe it's because of what's going on planetary astrologically. Maybe there's something else going on culturally. Maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe it's still other people practicing random acts of kindness or spreading magic in their own way. We don't know what it could be, but I certainly hope it continues, and I hope that the world does indeed become re-enchanted. So that's it, everybody. Take care, and remember that good things also grow in the darkness. Bye-bye.